Hi everybody, welcome to today's edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Sami Marquez and Pat Sherwood, continuing to get you set for the age group online qualifiers. Today we take a look at the 14 to 15-year-old men and the 16 to 17-year-old men. And just like the individual competition, every year these age groups just get more and more competitive.
Whatever challenge we throw at them, they rise to it. And the names that we're going to talk about on this show, they're going to be the Frasers, the Fronings, the Spielers of the future will be the Diciccos, the Mitchells and whatnot. So, hey, get used to it.
And look no further than last year's competition with Sterner and Palladino, who are doing big things, making it to regionals now on the individual side. So that's all the more reason to pay attention to these names.
Now let's start with the 14 to 15-year-old athletes and take a look at the leaderboard as it stands after the Open heading into the online qualifier. And it's Reece Mitchell who wins with 32 points, 17 ahead of Nolan Peter, who just edged out James Sprague by 1 point, and then Ron Zur 3 points back of them, and Dallin Pepper comes in 5th place. And Reece Mitchell wins this thing, and a lot of newcomers in this age group, no prior games experience for him.
Reece is fascinating. Not only has he never competed at the games, he's never competed in the Open. His very first time entering the Open, he wins the thing in his division, rockets to the top of our list. 32 points overall, crushed it. Bear in mind, second place had 49 points. That's how dominant his win was. He had top 5 finishes on 17.2, 4, and 5. He is from that tourist trap, Liverpool, out there in the UK, and this kid, I want to see him make it to the games because I think he could be one of those exciting new faces.
Yeah, when you look at other men on that leaderboard as far as experience is concerned, you're going to see the same story as Reece. Some of them, the top 3 there, didn't even participate in the Open last year. Dallin Pepper and Tyler Hickey did, but they were outside the top 100, and Tyler Hickey was in 442nd place. But Dallin Pepper won 2 very different events, so you want to keep an eye on this kid.
Absolutely, and you saw that graphic right here where you saw that massive improvement from 129th to 5th, and the 2 workouts that he won are very different workouts. In 17.3, which happened to be the longest workout of the Open for him, and had high volume strength, skill with the snatches and pull-ups, and then he goes and wins 17.5, which is pretty much the opposite end of the spectrum, shortest workout of the Open, and it's all-out throttle, which is a nice variance in terms of performance for him. You contrast that with his one quote-unquote bad finish, that's 17.1 and 25th. Well, if he goes 15 seconds faster in that workout, he moves on the overall leaderboard from 5th to 2nd, so just small improvements there, and he's easily one of the contenders.
On to the 16 to 17-year-olds, and this is where you start to see some names that are very familiar, and the young man who sits atop the overall leaderboard after the Open, very familiar name, that's Angelo DeCicco. Murtaza Nadim is behind him, but by 25 points, and then Guillermo Mejeros in 3rd place with 53, and then Evan Haynes in 4th, and Yogev Meller is in 5th place. And this is starting to become a very international affair as the top 3, United States, Europe, and then Latin America. And Angelo DeCicco is a kid that there is no doubt we're going to see this guy be competing on the big stage on the individual side of things, probably sooner rather than later.
Without question. This kid is just good, and he's already developing some incredible credentials for himself. This is his 2nd time winning the Open in his division. He was the champion in the 14 to 15-year-old division at the Games in 2015. He aged up last year, made it back, competed as well, podiumed again, that time the third place finish. So if he does make it to the Games, he's a teenager going for his 3rd podium finish already. He's so young. He's had 5 event wins at the CrossFit Games. That's the 3rd most from any teenager whatsoever. He has had the 2nd most Open workout wins with 4, so already he's incredible. He hangs out down there at CrossFit Mayhem. Maybe you've heard of that place with Rich Froning. Amazing athletes passing through there all the time. It's not even fair, so get used to the name Dicicco.
While he has a ton of experience, the men right behind him, there really isn't a lot as far as games is concerned. Nadim, Mejeros, and Grayshaber have not been to the games before. Now, Vincent Ramirez has, and he finished 1st, but that was in a different or he's the defending champ, correct? Vincent Ramirez is the defending champ last year, so you're going to definitely want to watch out for him. But take a look at Murtaza Nadim there in 2nd place. Not too bad for a kid who didn't even finish the Open last year.
Yeah, I went back and looked and was like, what's this guy's deal? Because, you know, he didn't finish the Open. He submitted scores for the first 4 and then unfortunately didn't have one for the last, so didn't actually get through the Open. But he does this year, finishes second, starts off 2017 with a great finish, winning 17.1, and follows it up with 2 more top 10 finishes worldwide along the way. He's out of the UK, which I think is important because if you look at the rest of the top 10, he leads an international contingent that's going to be tasked with taking down Dicicco, and you've got athletes from Brazil, Israel, Australia, as well as UK, so a nice international flair in this teenage competition to kind of go forth in the competition.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that, while the individual side of things took a little bit longer to become an international affair, where the teenager divisions, just after year 2 and year 3 now are really ramping up as far as a worldwide spectacle is concerned. The online qualifier workouts get announced later on this evening. Those will be posted at 5 p.m. Pacific time on the game site, and we will break those down for you once those are released. So be sure that you're on the game site, and then we'll have our thoughts on all the online qualifier workouts at that time. For Pat Sherwood and Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you later this evening.